What's up everybody, Kier Gomes here, and welcome back. I feel like it's been a lot longer than it actually has been since we reviewed a deck together, and I know how much you guys love deck reviews, so that's what today's episode is all about. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Gemini Casino playing cards by Gemini Decks. I think I read that this was called Gemini Casino 1975, not 100% sure though. As most of you know, I am a huge fan of Gemini in general, and Gemini Casino is a specific subset of Gemini that I am particularly fond of. Before we get started, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way. Okay, so this is the new Gemini Casino deck. You can probably tell by looking at the design that it is different than other Gemini Casino decks that we've seen in the past. Typically the Gemini Casino decks take on more of like a Jerry's Nugget looking aesthetic. You can kind of see where the inspiration from old vintage casinos plays into the old Gemini Casino design. With this new one, it's a little bit more snazzy, I want to say. That's the kind of the first impression that I get, the first word that comes to mind. So let's get into it. The tuck box is done in glossy cardstock. As you can see, it's not matte, it's very glossy, just like you would see it at a regular casino. The front and back of the deck are the back design of the cards, which we will talk more about very shortly. One side of the deck says Gemini Casino in this nice vintage casino style font. This is definitely consistent with other casino decks. You see it on the Jerry's. You see it on the Chicken Nuggets, you see it on the Cherry Casino. You definitely see it on like the Golden Nugget. I mean, it's kind of a standard staple design for casino style decks, and I really like it. It looks good when you put it on your shelf. The other side has the Gemini Casino logo, which is done in that really nice, elegant hand cursive, and then says Casino in that casino style font. The bottom has some ad copy information about Gemini decks. The top says Gemini, Las Vegas, Nevada, and then has that 1975 right there in the corner, which is why I think that's the title of this deck. You also get a custom yellow seal. It's done like a tax stamp, and it also has a numbered seal. For example, this deck is 496 out of only 1,100 decks printed. I love a numbered seal. I think it looks really cool. I think it adds to the value and kind of the hype of the deck, so really nice. You do get your Gemini pin drop on the inside of the tongue flap. You can see that on other Gemini Casino decks as well. So that's it for the tuck. Let's do what we want to do. Ooh. Here is a look at your back design. As you can see, you get like a medium-sized border done in white. Looks really good. And then it's got this beautiful blue, super light blue, or it kind of looks like the Gemini Vegas blue. It's almost like turquoise, and you can see mirrored on the back it says Gemini Casino in this really nicely done, elegant kind of cursive. It's also got a splash of color in there with a yellow sun kind of top and bottom of the Gemini Casino logo. It's got some nice scroll work in the middle, and then it's got two mirrored Gemini aces. I also really like the dots on the corner of the deck. That looks really cool in fans. That's something that you see on not enough decks, if you ask me. Like on the recent Oxygen deck by Elemental, that's on there and it looks really good. Your Ace of Spades looks like this. It's a classic Gemini Casino Ace of Spades for the most part. This features an enlarged spade pip with a tiny, super skinny stem, and it has that little sun logo in the middle. It says Gemini Las Vegas. That's definitely, I've said this before, very consistent with casino style theme. If you're trying to do a casino deck, there's really only one way to do it, and that's all out. So your jokers and your ace of spades need to follow a certain formula, or at least get close, and that was definitely done here. Nice. I'm gonna tell you right now, I love these jokers. Look how good those look. Whew. This might be my favorite Gemini jokers of all time. You can see it says Joker in each corner. It says compliments of Gemini Casino. It has that spade pip kind of in the bottom. That looks like something that would look really cool on like a t-shirt or a hat. Definitely very well designed. And it says Downtown Las Vegas, USA. Again, it follows the formula. It's got the compliments of, it's got the Joker in each corner. It's got the logo of the casino that it's representing. It's a win through and through, if you ask me. Okay, now in terms of ad cards and gaff cards, you are not going to get any gaff cards with this deck, but you are going to get some familiar looking ad cards. The first one is a map of where Gemini Casino would be if it was a real casino. Just kind of shows like the coordinates in Las Vegas. It has the Gemini Casino logo. Regular back design. This looks really good, and I like that it's horizontal. It's just a nice touch. This definitely looks like something that you would see like in a hotel, like to give to your cab driver so they know where to take you or something like that. That looks really good, and I love that blue. Nice. Then you get a Gemini ad card done in yellow. It's just all yellow card and says Gemini right there in the middle. Now you can see here that your pips and indices are mostly bicycle standard, but as with all Gemini decks, there is some customization, so let's get into it. The first thing to call out is that the hearts and diamonds are done in orange instead of red. We've seen this before with certain Gemini Casino decks. I am a huge fan of this. I think it looks really cool. One thing that I really like is the way that it looks with the blue and yellow back. Having those orange faces really makes it pop. I do think though that it might be kind of cool to have put like the hearts and diamonds in orange and then put the spades and clubs in like this kind of blue. I think that would look really cool. Your spades and clubs are done in complete bicycle standard, which makes this deck very perfect for things like Magic, but also things like poker. Your court cards have been color customized. Other than that, they are completely bicycle standard, but really all that was done was the reds and blues have been swapped out for orange and black, which I think was a good idea. I like the orange, yellow, and black colorway. It definitely feels more vintage. It definitely has a more casino aesthetic, and if that's what we're going for, which it is, it came out really good. I like it. And that is pretty much everything that I can say about the way that this deck is designed. I really like it, but now we have some other things to talk about. Let's talk about how it handles. Okay, so handling wise, this deck is everything that you would expect, not only from Gemini, but from United States Playing Card Company. It's on crushed classic stock, so it is extremely thin. This is definitely a deck that you can feel how thin it is right away. In fact, if any of you ended up purchasing the Ultra V2 deck that I just reviewed, this feels exactly like that. It's that level of thin, extremely, extremely crushed. As a result of that, the cards feel really good. They spring really easily. Here's that new dribble sound. Oh, can't get enough. One more. See how it sounds at an Anaconda. Ooh, nice. Super thin, very soft. This deck is classic Gemini. Gemini likes to do thin decks, and it's something that I think is preferred by most cardists out there. It feels similar to the Svengali decks. If you guys own any of those, it definitely feels a lot like that same card stock, and those cards are super thin as well. Or like the Paperwave V1 even, maybe a little bit thinner than the Paperwave V1, but they feel really, really nice. Snappiness check. Woo. Yeah, no, these cards actually are not snappy. They're just like, again, just like the Gemini Ultra V2. Those cards were so thin that they almost didn't have any snap to them. Again, that's not necessarily a big deal because that's something that you can get pop out of your cards without having to have them be super stiff or snappy. They definitely fare best from top to bottom. And there you go. Well guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode and my review of the new Gemini Casino 1975 playing cards. Honest thoughts on this, I like it just as much, if not a little bit more, than the normal Gemini Casino decks. This, I think, is a really nice addition to the Gemini Casino lineup, and it is available today. That's right. So if you're interested in picking up this deck for yourself, you can head over to GeminiDecks.com. I will link that below, but you definitely want to hurry as this is not only a limited edition print, it is also a Gemini deck, which means it's going to sell quickly. So if you're interested, don't wait. Get over there, pick up a couple of decks, pick me up some while you're at it. But also importantly, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. But most importantly, I mean more important than that, is have yourself a great rest of your day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.